Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hello, My Friend. Thank you for joining us this evening in this beautiful, sold-out venue. As you've heard, my name is Tony Maher, and I first met Paul McCarthy many years ago in a pub on the north side of the city. Some of you might know it, the Temple Acre Tavern. Then, for many years, Paul went his way, I went mine, and we didn't meet again until my grandson, Benny Hill, and his beautiful wife, Lindsay, had a baby boy. They christened him Ronnie Ray, their ray of sunshine. Little did I know that evening that that ray of sunshine would shine on me, because into the room walked Paul Mc Carthy. We shook hands, exchanged pleasantries, went about enjoying the evening. Later on, I mentioned to Benny how well Paul looked. There was something different about him. It was then he told me about the wonderful work that Paul was doing and the beautiful spiritual messages he was sending to Benny every morning. I asked, could I have those messages? Which I did. He told Paul, and before I knew where I was invited to a seminar. I went, the best decision that I ever made in my life, because it was at these seminars I discovered I was suffering most of my adult life from a Formula One racing mind. Sometimes in the future, sometimes in the past, but never, crucially, in the present, which is where we should be, to enjoy our lives. Paul gave me the tools to achieve that. So we went from there on a retreat up to the beautiful County Mayo. Myself and Noel sitting up the front of the bus. We quickly acquired the nicknames Saldorf and Waldorf. So Noel said to me, look, don't be worried. Glenn, Benny, Roy, Tommy and Sinead will keep the back of the bus nice and quiet. Did he get that wrong? But the reason that Noel sits up the front of the bus is so that he can tell the bus driver, forget about that sat-nav, I know the way. I'll show you. We got there and we were greeted by Austin, his beautiful wife Teresa, his very knowledgeable brother Damien, Vanessa, what a cook, her partner Wayne, and the garrulous Sean. Now we were setting about goals, meditation, singing, dancing, walking on coals, walking on broken glass. If you told me that years ago, I'd have said you were mad. But we did it, except I didn't walk on coals. It was one day when Paul put his hands on my shoulder and he said, right, go for this scary dream. And I said, okay, Paul. Right in front of me, Crow Patrick. I said, I'm going to climb Crow Patrick. Silence. And then a clap. What I meant to say was, I'm going to Crow Park. But anyway. When I went back home, it was time to get ready to climb the mountain. There was no way out of this. Paul had me signed up to a gym, and his daughter, she had a pair of runners for me. Thanks, Nicola. I wasn't getting out of this one. So I got ready as best I could. And last July 2023, my family and my friends got on a bus up to Westport. On a Saturday morning on the 15th of July, we stood at the slope of Crow Patrick and we started the climb. After a few hours, we got there. Now, The reason I'm telling you this story is, if Paul can get me to the top of Croagh Patrick, I'm looking at all these young faces out here tonight. Think about what he can do for you. Just open your mind, and this man, he will transform your life. So, without further ado, can you be upstanding, please? Everybody on your feet, I give a warm welcome to Mr. Paul Mc Carthy.
Brilliant. Video. Who would have thought it? All the way from the Temple Lake, where we buzzed in and buzzed out, to myself and Tony the Mountain Man in the Opera House. Right, Tony! Thank you everyone for coming here tonight. It's a privilege, it's an honour, it's emotional, and I hope I give you a night that you'll have in your minds for a very long time. But before we start the show, some of you have been to my seminars, been to retreats, and some of you haven't. But my journey started on the 23rd of January 2004. I never mind breaking my own anonymity, but I'd never break anybody else's. I was sitting inside Charlie's pub, inside town, 25 years of age. I'd no dreams, I'd no goals, I was lost. I had a paper in front of me, I wasn't reading it. I was scared of my life. I was full of fear, full of paranoia. I didn't understand what was happening inside my mind. I was a happy kid. I came from a place in the north side, in Kilkieran Close, great parents, nobody to blame. But addiction got a hold of me. It was a very dark day for me. If you told me that day I was going to be in a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous that night, I said you were crazy. I've seen many members over the years with my father, and I just never thought that was a place for me. So on my darkest day was my biggest breakthrough. What has that got to do with you? Maybe everything. My road was addiction. Maybe your road is thinking. Maybe it's food. Maybe it's gambling. Maybe it's just life itself. And when I walked into that meeting that night, I was a lost boy. I remember going home to my father. I said, Dad, all I am is an alcoholic. There was many different labels that I thought I was. And that night, I didn't know it, my life changed forever. And about a year and a half later, I heard inside the fellowship that there's this thing called a higher power. People call it God, people call it Buddha, people call it a brother or mother who passed it away. I didn't understand really. But one day, I was at home, tears in my eyes, grown man. And anybody that knows me, I wouldn't be a fellow to get emotional in front of a crowd, but I was on my own, I was broken again. I said, I thought with the drink and the substance abuse out of my system, I'd be happy now. I was 26, watching my brothers and sisters, and a lot of my good friends here who I drank with in Temple Acre, getting on with their lives. I was the first to break away from everyone into recovery. And I says, is this what I'm left with for the rest of my life? And I was working for a fantastic company called Coca-Cola. I was passing vibes and scribes. I had tears in my eyes. something told me, go into the shop. I went into the shop. I hadn't the ability to look for a book. I said to the girl, please give me the best spiritual book you had. She picked up this book. She goes, this book is called The Power of Now by McCarthy. Tolle. She goes, this is one of the most sought after books in the world. I went home. I read 10 pages. I said to my family, this is what I was looking for all my life. This book spoke about a voice in the head. When I came into recovery, I had this little voice, this rabbit in my head. He said this and she said that. Even someone who I love, I might think something nasty in my head. I said, what's going on in my brain? I thought that my thoughts were me. I didn't understand that negative voice is not who I was. You might not have gone down the addiction road. But the biggest crisis we face in the world right now is a racing brain. People can't stop thinking. People's heads are on overdrive. They can't sleep. It's a crisis we face. And when I started reading The Power Now by McCarthy Tolle, I started learning these simple tools. And I hope tonight I can share these tools with you. And these are simple tools and simple techniques. Be aware how you feel now. Watch as this seminar goes on tonight. Watch the difference of the way you feel. Everything is energy. Everything. As you think thoughts affect the way you feel. We call it good form or bad form. You're vibrating on a frequency. If you break down this body here, it's molecules. But if you're vibrating on a lower frequency, which is negativity, he said this and she said that. What happens then? The universe gives you back situations, circumstances, and events to match what you're feeling. But if you're vibrating on a good frequency, if you're feeling good, if you're happy, if you're buzzing, then the universe gives you back situations, circumstances, and events to match what you're putting out. Let me give you an example. The thoughts you've been thinking for the past 3 months, examine them. That's what's in your life today. If you want to change what comes into your life in the next 3 months, you've got to change your thoughts today. Every sage through the history of time have agreed on one thing. You are a product of your thoughts. This stuff needs to be taught in schools. And it's starting to happen. My mentor is in the room tonight. He just came a while ago and gave me something very special. I remember I went to his first seminar in 2009. I knew nothing about law of attraction. I knew nothing about thoughts. When he started to explain this stuff to me, I nearly fell off the seat. I goes, what? It's unbelievable. But the law of attraction is secondary. First, you've got to get the inside right. You've got to understand how the conscious mind works. You've got to understand how the subconscious mind works. Let me explain how most people's minds work. You're going down Patrick Street. You see someone who done something wrong to you 20 years ago. By the time you get to McCarthy Street, in your mind, you're fighting him. Who do he think he is? Wait till I see him tomorrow. They might have pushed you in school 20 years ago now, and your head is gone all over the place. You see him the next day in Temple Lake, you probably buy him a pint. How you get on, bud? Best friends. You go home that night in your bed, I'll get him tomorrow. He's dead. Who do you think he is? Huh? You know, that's the way the mind goes. Look how most people live. And I lived like this for a long time. You get up in the morning, you brush your teeth. You brush your teeth, you can't wait to be in work. You're in work, you can't wait for lunchtime. You're at lunchtime, you can't wait to get home. You're at home watching the box set, you can't wait to be in bed. You're back watching the box set, you're going up to the toilet, you're back down the box set, your mind wants to be somewhere else. It's a trap. The ego is a false sense of self. When human beings first came into civilization many years ago, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all, Ron. Watch how the mind works. One of the greatest techniques I've ever learned from McCarthy Tolle is this. This is a thought. Let's say you're a kid. I know we have some kids here, as young as 5 in the audience, Jack. So Jack, you think of your brother Billy. So if you haven't got a kid, think of a friend. So this is a thought. Watch this now. You got a phone call from the principal. Not Karen from Ballincollig now, another principal. And the thought is, your kid's getting expelled tomorrow. Watch the way the brain works. Your head, it wasn't my kid. Maybe I get my kid out of it. Who will I ring? And your head is gone, right? By the time the next day comes, you meet Karen, actually, it is Karen. You meet Karen, and Karen says, sorry, it wasn't your kid at all. What I'm trying to say, most people live in the analytical mind. Tomorrow, it could be a job promotion, Hope I get it. There's 4 of you running for the job. Next week, you'll be getting fired. But my point is this. This is not normal. We all think it's normal because everybody does it. So let me explain this first technique tonight. Stand back and observe the intellectual mind. When you observe the thinker, what happens? The thinker stops. Watch the way this room will change now. Everything's about frequency. Before I give this, what I'm going to say next, let's say you're inside a bar tomorrow. Everybody's happy. Everybody's having a good time. Then one intimidating person comes in. What happens? His frequency dominates everybody else. When 2 people meet, one frequency will win. So everything comes back to frequency. Watch how we'll change the frequency in the room right now. Love, happiness, peace, freedom. Watch now how the frequency will change. He said that. Stay away from him. His kid's no good. He's a blackguard. He's this. So when you speak like this, be careful. Because everything is made of energy. The first form of creation is as you think thoughts, you create energy. As you speak words, you create energy. The words you speak and the thoughts you think show up in your life. Now, let's go a step further. When 2 people speak the same thoughts and think the same thoughts and speak the same words, then it comes into your life faster. When a group does it, like this is called group consciousness, then it accelerates in. That's why the world is the way the world is. So when you start understanding this information and you start applying it in your life, the changes that will take place is crazy. Look at Tony Marr. Tony Marr came into this seminar at 74 years of age, not because I'm giving the information. I learned it from like Stevie and different people all over the world. I'm going to these seminars and retreats for a very long time. People ask, why do I go? Because you got to experience it. You got to go. 99.9% of my goals and dreams came true on the back of these seminars and retreats. Tony walked in. He won't mind me saying this. He was 3 or 4 stone heavier than he is today. He sat down there, didn't understand dreams and goals. I say to people, don't wait 30 years to live today. Today is the day. Get up out of your bed. Change the way you think. Tell yourself a different story. He went up to a seminar retreat. He was inspired by other people achieving their dreams and goals. Isn't that what life's about? Going for your goals, going for your dreams, having that bit of spark, having that bit of go. As a kid, what had you? As a kid, you had that spark. As a kid, you were buzzing. You were full of enthusiasm. What happened? Programming. Listen to the news. Society. Don't do this. Don't go for your goals. Don't go for your dreams. Albert Einstein once said, imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Albert Einstein also says, imagination is everything. He was asked by the audience, Albert, if imagination is everything, why do we have conditions in our life we're not happy with? He goes, it's because of the programming you got. Life is hard. After school, you go to the big bad world. You're no good. Don't do this. Don't do that. When you've listened to this, and we're not blaming nobody, what happens? You take on a new program. And Tony started coming around with this information, like all of you tonight. And he goes, you know what? I'm going to get up. I'm going to go for it. Up in Austin's place, where we did all the retreats up in Annam-Cree. What an amazing place. He just looked at Croagh Patrick and he says, I'm going to climb that. Now the question I have for you tonight is this. Just the thought of Tony Marr climbing Croagh Patrick, that's a success. See, the goal is just the destination. It's the journey to the goal. It's the day-to-day steps. Then he got the runners. Then he started walking Fair Hill. Then he started walking Strawberry Hill. And 40 or 50 of us got on a bus up to Croagh Patrick. We all got behind him. His family gave him a guard of honour. And he got to the top. Like, if you just conceive that. When people tell me they have no goals and dreams, I said, look at this man. This man has inspired so many people across the world to go for their goals and dreams. Earl Nightingale did a survey in America. Out of every 20 people he asked, why do you get up out of bed in the morning? 19 didn't know. So I have a question for you, just for you. Just take this in. Why do you get up out of bed in the morning? What's the 2 most important days of your life? You'll get the first one, the day you were born. What's the second one? The day you realized you were born. Every single human being is born with a gift. We're just evolution. Before us, it was Neanderthals. Before them, it's just the animal kingdom. What separates us from the animal kingdom? You're going to find out there soon. Bob Proctor done a seminar for 2,000 people with all different backgrounds. He asked every person to put on paper, what's your 6 intellectual faculties? Less than 3% knew. It's the only thing that separates us from the animal kingdom. So look at this slide that's coming up here now. If you take anything from tonight, take this home. Before I explain the slide, I want you to go back to 1990, when the computer first came into existence. If you turned on a computer back then, was it any good to you? No. Why? No Google Chrome. No Safari. No Facebook. No Instagram. So what happened over time? Developers programmed all these. Now when you turn on the computer, what's there? All this is there. So when human beings, when you're born, there's a crowd called the Jesuits. They said, give me a boy for 7 years and I give you a man. The first 7 years in your life, you're in something called theta frequency. And what happens? What are you being programmed by? The conversations at home. The conversations in school. Your teachers. Your parents. Was there a lot of love in your house? Was there a lot of anger? If you grew up in an area where there's a lot of addiction, there's a good chance you go down that road. If you grew up in an area where there's a lot of lawyers and doctors, there's a good chance you go down that road. This is not a blame game. This is what happens the first 7 years. And why don't we know about this? Who knows about this? The company I work for called Coca-Cola. The pharmaceutical industry know about this. Flu season, everybody get the flu. It's programming. So how do you get through to the subconscious mind? Through your conscious mind. This is very important. Look here. What we have in the conscious mind, okay? We have 5 senses. See, hear, smell, taste, and touch. What they are for is help us to survive. The animal kingdom also have 5 senses. But what happens, we take them for what happens inside. So whatever result you get in your life, let's say in school you get a D. That's a D student. That's not true. That's just a result right now. When you hold a vision, and I'm going to explain something very important about the imagination. When you hold a vision and see from the end, you can change your whole destiny right now. So what separates us from the animal kingdom is 6 intellectual faculties. And one of them is imagination. And that's as I already said. Albert Einstein says imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Let me explain the power of imagination. He also says imagination is everything. As a kid, we believe as parents, and I did for a long time, imagination is only for kids. So if you see Roy Keane scoring a goal as a kid, you'd be out in the front and you believe you're Roy Keane. If you heard Celine Dion sing a song, you'd be out in the front, you believe you're Celine Dion. In your imagination. But what happens when we get older? The imagination is only for kids. That's rubbish. You can go anywhere in your imagination. You can go 20 years ahead, 20 years behind. You can go anywhere. Learn to use your imagination. Learn to dream. Is one of the main intellectual faculties we have. But what happens as we get older, we settle for the norm. How are you getting on keeping the wolf from the door? How are you getting on? Same old thing, shitty old day. I was talking to someone 2 weeks ago. How are you getting on? I'm going to Spain Friday. Can't wait to get out of this place. I hate this place. You know, Ireland has done #1 in the world through globalization. Do you know, from 1922 to 1992, Ireland was the poorest country in the world, in the Western world. And from 1992, when we opened up to now, we benefited the most in the world through globalization. We live in an amazing place. When you get up in the morning, right, one of the ways to change your program, there's 3 ways to change that program, the subconscious. This is very important. Your conscious mind, you have the ability to choose or reject thoughts. But your subconscious, the deeper part of your mind, can't reject, has to accept. So after 8 years of age, your subconscious mind, your program is formed. And let me give an example to explain this. Think of one of your friends in school that's 8 years of age. And I bet you when you meet them when they're 40, they have the same personality. If you're told as a kid you're shy, you believe you're shy for the rest of your life. As a kid, if you went out the front and want to fight, you have to stand up for that image for the rest of your life. Like if someone was born in Knocknaheeny, right? And he was adopted in China, would he grow up in Knocknaheeny ways or Chinese ways? Chinese ways, the first 7 years. But what happens is that we go through a whole life from 8 for the rest of our life, living from the same program. I grew up in a neighborhood, I'm very proud of it, there's a lot of addiction. People hadn't that much money, and you grew up with that financial insecurity. and you go up thinking other people are better than you. I remember when I started traveling all over the world, the first goals I ever wrote was Stevie in 2009. On them goals, on paper, one of my goals was to have more confidence in front of business people. I thought people were better than me. There's nobody better than you. You're better than nobody else either. Believe in yourself. What's the belief? A thought you keep thinking. When you change your thought, you change your belief, you change your program. Like, what if what I'm saying is right? What if? And you go through your whole life not living to your potential. Don't wait 30 years to live today. Today is the day. And when you start living and you get up in the morning and start changing the way you think, everything changes. One of the ways to change your program is the story you tell yourself. When you get up in the morning and say, do you know what? Today is going to be a great day. I can't wait to see who I meet today. Life is absolutely fantastic. When you speak like this, try for one day, straight away you feel good. Straight away you feel vibrant. You're vibrating on a higher frequency. And when you're vibrating on a higher frequency, you're attracting things into your life to match that frequency. See, the universe cannot give you what you're not. The universe can only give you what you are. So the story you tell yourself is the most important thing. If your wife or husband spoke to you the way you speak to yourself, we'd be all divorced tomorrow. But yet, we get up in the morning, we're in a crowd, we pretend to be confident, and inside we're killing ourselves. Nobody has to put us down. We put ourselves down by the thoughts we think. Joe Dispenza, the most sought-after man in the world, he scans people now, and a lot of you are at his seminars. He scans people before seminars and scans them after it. By thinking negative, or you're not good enough, I can't do this, what happens? You're actually destroying yourself. You're actually destroying your body. So, like, why are we doing this? Nobody gets up in the morning and says, you know what? I'm going to have a shit day today. Do you know what? Today is the day that is gone. Like, well, what happens by defect, that voice in the head, that rabbit in the head, what happens is that it gets in bit by bit. And then, like, if you think a negative thought for 17 seconds, what happens then? More negative thoughts join it. Do that for 17 seconds. That's the equivalent. That's 68 seconds. Scientifically proven it's the same thing as 2,000 physical working hours. That's the power of your thoughts. So what's the antidote? Tell yourself, you know what? I'm going to have a good day today. You know what? Go out and look at the world. See the glass half full instead of half empty. Look at the opportunity. And when you change your perception of things, what happens then? Your whole life changes. Another intellectual faculty is reason. You have the ability to choose or reject thoughts through your conscious mind. Like, your senses are like antennas. And that helps you survive. But just use them like that. So if a negative thought comes in, don't accept it. 95% people don't think properly. Because if you meet someone and you're accepting all their negative thoughts, do you ever leave someone with a negative conversation and you leave them and you're absolutely demented? You know? Because you've accepted all their thoughts. When you start understanding these tools and techniques, you don't have to accept these thoughts anymore. It's one of your intellectual faculties. Another one is perception. If Man United are playing Liverpool tomorrow, you could say Man United play better. Another person says Liverpool. You can change your perception of things. Animals can't do this. Like, you have to understand, this separates us from the animal kingdom. But it's like going to the gym. You know, if you go to the gym, you just work on one hand. What happens? The other one obviously has not the same size. It's the same with your intellectual faculties. You got to work on them. You got to use them. Another one is memory. Everybody has a fantastic memory. The only thing that gives you a bad memory is by you saying you have a bad memory. I'm ditzy. I can't remember this. I can't remember that. Then you believe you have a bad memory. That's not true. Everybody has a fantastic memory. But you tell yourself a different story. Will gives you the power to focus. Whatever you focus on grows. Because whatever you focus on, the energy goes there. And wherever energy goes, comes back into your life. Intuition. Do you ever meet someone and you're picking up on that energy? You feel a good vibe off them. That's your intuition. Do you ever go into a conversation, your head tells you one thing, your heart tells you something else? So how do you develop your intuition? Sitting down and sitting with yourself. Like I say to people, you know, if you went home tonight, turned off the lights, just relaxing, your partner came in and says, who's after passing away? You say, no, I'm just living the dream. Like, when last did you actually sit at home without the phone, without technology, and sit with your own skin? Because, you know, for many years, I couldn't sit with my own skin. When I went into recovery, I was a very happy young fella. very outgoing, up to everything, just out and about. Right, the recovery is my brain. It was 3,000 miles an hour. I didn't understand what was taking place. My confidence went. My head was down. Passing my friends on the street, avoiding conversations. And what happens when you're young? This voice in the head starts slowly. But as you get older, it gets faster and faster because we don't know how to deal with it. Let me give you one of the most powerful techniques from McCarthy again. Everyone now in the room, right? Just your awareness. Just be aware of your heart. Just your awareness. Be aware your legs are on the ground. Now, keep your awareness now where your heart is. What are you thinking about now? Your body. Watch this. Every time you take your awareness from your head into your body, you just created a gap in between the stream of your thoughts. Every time you create a gap in between the stream of your thoughts, your true authentic self is there, which is love, happiness, and peace. The name of the game is to create gaps in between the stream of your thoughts. And all you got to do is bring your awareness. And what happens is that when you start, at the start, you hold your awareness in your body for 2 or 3 seconds. Then you go back into the mind again. Then you come back to the body. And with practice, you get 5 minutes, you get 10 minutes. And what happens, this peace you'll feel inside your heart. I thought from a kid up to 25, the only time I'd be happy was with a substance in my system. I didn't understand. And at 25 years of age, when I came across this material, I was out with my son Dean. I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. I went into recovery, and financially I was okay. The reason I'm saying that is I lost everything a year into recovery by a bad investment. Just made a bad investment. I lost everything I had. I had no money. I was 6 months behind on my mortgage. I had 4 kids. I had a partner that relied on me. I was full of pride. I couldn't ask nobody for a loan. But I was out playing with my son. And I started learning these techniques, and I was happy. I was, whoa. I was taught as a kid that money is a success. If you have money, you're seen as a success. I realized from that day to this day, money is handy. It pays the bills. I'm not saying that. But peace of mind is an inside job. Like, everybody wants happiness. Everybody wants peace. Everything you do in your life, you do it for one reason. You believe it's going to make you feel happy. I'm going to the pictures with my partner after. I'm going to the gym. I'm going out for a night out. Everything you do, you believe it's going to make you feel happy. But happiness is not in the future. Happiness is right here, right now. As Eckhart Tolle says, fall in love with the present moment. When you fall in love with the present moment, you fall in love in life. And you feel the joy. It's the joy of being. Another brilliant technique. When you go for a walk tomorrow, pay attention to every step you take. When you pay attention to every step you take, you're not thinking. The name of the game is learn not to stop thoughts. For you to rise above thought. What's rising below thought? Do you ever start with 1 box set, and then there's 10 box sets later? Start with 1 biscuit and finish six packets. Every addiction starts off good and finishes in pain. When you rise above thought, become the observer of that intellectual mind. See, right now, we're going through a phase. If you go back to the 1500s, when the Dutch were the superpower, if you were seen as a carpenter, you were seen as a success. And now, since the printing press, it's all about, if you can hold on to information more than somebody else, you're seen as a success. And these cycles we go through in life. The intellectual mind is fantastic. But if you overanalyze and you can't stop thinking, is that a success? You got to learn to slow the mind down. If you don't learn to slow the mind down, I have news for you. The mind's going to get faster. It will get so fast you can't shut it off, and you're going down the road, and there's so much pain. You lose the fun of life. That's why they say we get grumpy with the old age. There's no need for that. You don't have to get grumpy with the old age. This is why it's great to see so many kids here tonight. This stuff needs to be taught to our kids. And the good news is starting to happen. The Super U program has gone into 15 schools across the country. And for any teachers here, I know Evan's teachers here, Mrs. Doherty. And for any teachers that are here, we can bring this into the schools. And the charge is for first years, right? Now, the charge is free. You get Stevie and the team to come in. And we teach 1.5 hours each week for 6 weeks. And we teach them all this stuff. Can you imagine if you learned this at 7 or 8 years of age? Can you imagine the road you would have went down? And it's a road of peace. It's a road of enjoyment. Does it make your life better? Yes, but does it make it perfect? Absolutely not. I thought when I came across this information for the first time, I was never going to have any more problems. Whoa. Life's meant to be problems. It's not the problems, it's your reaction to the problems. Don't wait for somebody else to change. You change. Every great invention through the history of time started with a thought. 150 years ago, the Wright brothers says, we're going to put a plane in the sky. Everybody wanted to lock him up. Edison said, I'm going to light up the world. He failed 1,000 times. But he tried one more, and now we take electricity for granted. Elon Musk is saying we're going to put cars in the sky, and we're starting to believe it. What's the difference between you and Edison? What's the difference between you and Einstein? Absolutely nothing. It's your program. It's a deeper part of your mind, your subconscious. You got to learn to change your program. You change your program by the story you tell yourself. The second way to change your program is affirmations. I am a good person. I am going to have a good day today. Life is amazing. Try this simple technique tomorrow. Get up out of bed tomorrow. Every single person you see, just do it till 1 o'clock. Send them love. Look how hard it is. I was talking to a very good friend a while ago, and he was talking to another friend about coming to one of the seminars. And he said, I bet you everyone you see in work in your mind, there's something wrong with him, there's something wrong with them, I don't like them. He goes, yeah, that's where my mind is all the time. He goes, are you trying to tell me the seminars help you with this? Everybody needs help with their mind, including me. And when you start getting awareness of this, everything changes. The third way to change your subconscious is shock. And we will explain that in the next part of the segment. So again, you have your 5 senses. You have your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is where you have the ability to think, to choose or reject. And you have the subconscious, the deeper part of your mind. What happens then? The conscious mind is where thoughts come in. Is the intellectual mind. The subconscious mind is the emotional mind. And then, them emotions are going into your body and they're vibrating. So if you're thinking good thoughts, what happens? Them good thoughts are going into your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind can't reject, has to accept. Let me tell you something very important about the subconscious mind. Probably the most important thing you'll ever hear about it. Your subconscious mind, the deeper part of your mind, doesn't understand if you're visualizing something or if it's real. It takes it as fact. That's why Einstein said imagination is more powerful than knowledge. So if you hold a vision, that's something that didn't happen yet in law of attraction, and believe it to be true, it has to manifest. My niece came to me a few years ago and said to me, I'm an atheist. I said, okay, no problem. I said, can I ask you a few questions? She goes, of course you can. I goes, who breathes when you're asleep? Don't answer the question, I said. If you get a cut, who heals you? Who brought you into this world from your mother's first semester? No, he said, the last question. Do you think there's a power that operates the sun, the moon, the stars every night, some energy? She goes, yes. I goes, that's it. You can call that power God. You can call it Buddha. Call it your brother. It doesn't matter. That's the energy that controls the world. Your subconscious, the deeper part of your mind, is connected to that energy. That's why Abraham Hicks says, it doesn't matter if you're creating a button or a castle, it's your belief in it so. So when you start understanding this, you're connected to the cosmos that operate the whole universe. Human beings are the highest form of creation. And a lot of us are not aware of this. Take back control of your life. Stop giving your energy to the news. Everybody, when you wake up every single morning, we all have the same chance. We have 24 hours. It's called time. It's currency. What do you do with your currency? How many times you sit down in the morning and spend 15 minutes and decide what you want in your life? If you don't decide what you want in your life, how can you attract it? But we have loads of time for box sets, loads of time for training, loads of time for all other things. Sit down and start putting your dreams and goals on paper. There's a book called Think and Grow Rich by Andrew Carnegie, the richest man in the world. He got Napoleon Hill to study the 500 most successful men of all time, and they all spoke about this. We all know this information, a lot of us, through Rhonda Byrne. She wrote a great book called The Secret. But a lot of people read The Secret and it says, if I sit down here and visualize something that comes straight away, it's not like that. Can you imagine if the law of attraction worked every time you thought something that came into existence? You're walking down the beach with your partner. A girl pops here, a boy pops there. I don't like him, I don't like him. So if everything you thought came true straight away, it'd be crazy. None of us would have a partner. Because every thought would come in, whoop, I don't like him, I don't like her. The law of attraction works like this. When you hold a vision, Albert Einstein also said, there's two things that's wrong with human beings. Poverty of imagination and weakness of attention. You got to be able to hold on to your goal and be able to focus on it with your intellectual faculty. Straighten it. Focus on your goal. Focus on your dream. And when you can hold that at the start for a few seconds, then a few minutes, what happens? That will manifest. It starts up. Where do thoughts come from? Thoughts come from the ether. There's thoughts flying through the room right now. Who owns them? Nobody does. But when you feel good, them thoughts stick onto you. When you feel negative on a low frequency, them thoughts stick onto you. We've been at seminars, at retreats, and when you're in this high frequency, what happens? Magic happens. Magic happens at these seminars and these retreats. 99% of my goals and dreams came true on the back of these retreats. So what we're going to do now, some of you in the audience have never meditated before. I want you now to have an open mind. Okay? We're going to do a meditation now, and watch the difference meditating in a room of 1,000 people. So everyone now, close your eyes. Be aware your legs are on the ground. Bring your awareness to your heart. Be aware your heart is full of white light. And that white light is full of love, full of peace, full of calmness. And how you meditate, be aware you're breathing. Some people like to breathe in and out through their nose, some in through your nose, out through your mouth. Whatever you prefer. Just breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And just forget about everything now outside the opera house. We're all in here together, 1,000 people. And just let the whole world go. Leave the outside world where the outside world is. Be aware now that your heart is full of white light. And that white light is full of love. It's full of peace. Full of calmness. We're going to do a body scan now. Starting with your forehead, just be aware of your forehead and let your awareness run down your face, your nose, your mouth, your chest, down your stomach, your thighs, your knees, down your shins, all over your feet. For some of you who meditated before, you probably feel some pins and needles on your feet. If you're new to meditation, don't worry about it. Now up the back of your calves, your hamstrings. And as your awareness goes up your hamstrings, be aware that it's white light and it's full of love and full of peace. Up your back. And now your shoulders. Just be aware now, visualize someone's massaging your shoulders. And all that tension and all that negativity is leaving the body. Just nice and relaxed. Now that awareness goes up your forehead, all over your head, and now leave it all over the whole body. And just nice and relaxed. Now we're going to use our intellectual faculty here, imagination. And remember, also use your senses. See, hear, smell, taste, and touch. I want everyone now to come out of the opera house in their imagination, up into the sky, and just go into a cloud. I want you to fall backwards and forwards, left and right, and just leave everything go. Just feel free as a bird. The next song we're going to play now is one of the greatest songs of all time. But before we play it, resentment is the number one offender. If you could scan your body when you have a resentment against somebody, you're actually destroying your body. So for this song, it's all about love. I want you to know, right, from that cloud, anybody who's been bothering you, anybody who's been in your imagination, you've been holding on to too long, I want you to know, right, from up over your city, if emotions come, I want you to send love. Love is the highest vibration. You can't get any higher than love. Everything you do in your life, you do for one reason, for love. So send as much love as you can.
Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody searching for a hero.
Send out that love now.
Need someone to look up to. I never found anyone who.
Be aware now your whole body's full of white light. Just be aware everything's full of white light. You're up in that cloud. Send the love out. When you send love out to the universe, love comes back. The next part of the song now, right? I want you to know somebody who's close to you, a loved one, somebody maybe who's sick. I want you now to send love to them. But before you send love to them, I want to explain something to you. Joe Dispenza had people in Australia, and he was doing a seminar in a different part of the world. He got the whole 2,000 people, the whole division of people in Australia being healed. He scanned them before and afterwards in Australia, and the healing took place. This is the power of a group consciousness. So I want you to pick somebody so close to you, so special to you, that needs that better loving, and send as much love as you can to them for this song.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadows. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe.
No, right? I want you to stay where you are, up in the cloud, right? And you never jock out of meditation, okay? So I want you now, right, to come back into the room. I want you now just to be aware your legs are on the ground. Be aware you're sitting on the seat. Just be aware of your whole being again. Nice and relaxed, nice and calm. And now in your own time, open your eyes. Now, for some of you who never meditated before, just feel the difference in the room right now. Feel the difference of the frequency. And that was literally just 5-6 minutes. One of the most important things you can do each day is start off the day with meditation. At the start, your mind will be going busy. At the start, your thoughts will be going crazy. But with practice, what happens is that your mind starts relaxing. You start taking back control of your life. The next slide now we're going to show you is a very, very powerful slide. And if you look here, right, at this slide here, see here, this is like your life, ups and downs. Sometimes in your life, let's say you're fired from a job, something happens to your kids, relationship goes, then things are going good in your life, new job, life is great. Again, this is called the roller coaster of life. But before I show you the next part of the slide, Earl Nightingale said, Mother Teresa is a success. When I heard that the first time, I said, how is Mother Teresa a success? I didn't understand. He goes, people deem money as a success. Mother Teresa is a success because she had a mission greater than ourselves. So my question to you is today, have you got a mission? Have you got goals? Have you got dreams? Joe Dispenza famously said, you're defined by two things, a vision of the future or a victim of the past. There's probably 3 or 4 things in the past you can't let go of. Leave the past where the past is. Have that vision. If you're not happy with your life right now and you've no vision, you've no goals, you've no dreams, I can promise you one thing. In 5 years from now, it'll be the same as right now. Have that vision. I can tell you thousands of stories of people who put pen to paper and their whole lives changed. There's 3 brothers in the room tonight. And they won't mind me sharing this story. Timmy, Tommy, and John Paul. A lot of you know Timmy, who's been a big inspiration to me. He's been here with the Norries 2 times already. And when I came up here, he gave me the inspiration to come up here and to do this. His brother John Paul was going through a tough time, like many of us in life, ups and downs of this roller coaster. At one stage, we didn't know was he going to make it to the next day. Tommy was up at a retreat in Annamcree, up in Austin's place, and Teresa and Damon. And Tommy put down pen to paper. When we came to the last day, I told him, the importance of writing your goals and dreams on paper is unbelievable. I'll give you a simple technique now. Go home tonight, write 10 goals on paper, come back in 1 year. I bet you most of them will come true. How does it happen? No one knows. There's an energy that operates the whole universe. And when you put pen to paper on a high frequency, put it out there, magic happens. Tommy was next to me in the retreat. He put down pen to paper. He hoped John Paul to come up here. At that stage, treatment centres wouldn't take John Paul. We were blessed that Austin had a place up in Annamcree that would take in anybody, no judgment. Within a few weeks, John Paul, miraculously, was up in Annamcree. John Paul came back. Then he came to the retreat. It came to the Sunday. I tell everybody, the importance of writing down your goals and dreams is not for kids. It's for everybody. We think it's for kids. He put down, he was a great soccer player, played most of his soccer for Grattan and Knocknaheeny Celtic. I'm going to go back playing soccer, and I'm going to go to Turner's Cross. I'm going to bring my kids out on the pitch and take a picture. A few months later, I was there, and a few of us in the room were there. Grattan got into the final against Coachford last year. John Paul got his kids out into the middle of the pitch for the picture to be taken. That day, Grattan lost. But did John Paul lose? No, he won. He had that vision. He had that goal. He had that dream. Another goal he had was to be in a seminar at one time. That happened. You never know what's going to happen in the next 24 hours. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. But you ever see when a kid gets up in the morning, they go out the door, they're buzzing. They're delighted with the unexpected. They're delighted to go out and taste life. They're just go. As a kid, we didn't care. But when we get older, we take things too serious. If a kid has an argument with another kid at 2 years of age, they talk 10 minutes later. If we have an argument as an adult, we might never talk again. We take life too serious. Stop taking life too serious. Life is a game, not a game you play with people. It's a game of energy. So be careful where you put your energy. Like kids are here to teach us, not us to teach them. They're spontaneous. What do most human beings lack? Motivation, a purpose. This is how you do it. And your vision could be to be a better person. Get involved in the local charity penny dinners, street angels. There's so much out there to do. So Mother Teresa had a mission, and hopefully tonight that might spark something inside you. Run a marathon, raise money for charity. This is how goals work. Watch this. This is the mistake people make with goals. People want 3 things in life. More money, better relationship, better health. But they're always in the future. Your subconscious doesn't understand the future. If you want health, you got to be health. If you want a better relationship, you got to be in that relationship right now. There's a man in this audience, Tony's grandson, came into the seminars 23 stone. It's documented on my social media. He complained about his weight one night. He goes, do you want to lose weight? He goes, yeah. I goes, do 2 things. Get a scales. Send me a picture of your weight every morning and every night. Every opportunity you get in the next few months, I want you to shout and roar the weight you are. He says, what about a diet? I goes, no diet. You don't need one. Every morning, I goes, what's the goal? He goes, 18 stone. I goes, give me a proper goal. He goes, 15 stone. I goes, okay. Date it. New Year's Eve. We changed it to Christmas Eve. Every morning, for the next few months, he sent me a picture and told me he was a 15 stone machine of a man. See, his subconscious doesn't understand if he is or not. And what happened, in the Kinsley, myself, Joe, Roy, and Benny, no pre-weight, jumped on the scales, hit 15 stone. I can give you 1,000 more stories like this. Benny got inspired. He helped a guy called John from Ballincollig do the same thing. John got inspired, helped my dad lose a few stone. This Like, when you have a goal, this is very important. Don't have a goal for yourself. If you want to make money, who are you going to give it to? If you want to lose weight, who are you going to inspire to lose more weight? You have to have something greater. Every human being loves to help people. So make your goal big and scary. Crime Crow Patrick, whatever it is, do it. But do something. That's what happens to most people, goals. See, goals are like planting seeds. I'm going to make 20 euros by Friday. Simple. Put it out, it's done. I'm going to lose 3 pounds by Friday. Simple. I'm going to make 2 grand by Friday. Oh, jeez, I can't give that one. Keep that one, it's too hard. I'm going to lose 5 stone by 3 months. Oh, Jesus, tonight. Oh, God, no. If you don't plant your goals and plant your dreams, how do you expect to manifest them? It's impossible. But this is very important. It's not your job to know when it comes true. That's the energy, that's the power. Your job is to plant the gold. There's a guy called Neville Goddard. Go and look him on YouTube. What a man. What a man. Have your goals, have your dreams. Put them out there. Believe they're after manifesting already. I was there a few years ago. Very difficult time in my life. Went through a hard time. A lot of stuff was said about me. Head was down. I was doing this law of attraction stuff and the power now since 2005. I had many years' experience. Ups and downs in life. I lost everything. Nobody's fault. I made a bad investment. I went from financial freedom to the social welfare. And I was so grateful to get the social welfare. I got 430 euros every week and it helped me to keep the show on the road, just about. But I knew this stuff worked. So what did I do? My back was to the wall. 5% of the day, I believed I was financially free. 95% of the day, I was demented. Then 10% of the day, I believed it. What was I doing? I was down Little Island in an office, you couldn't swing a cat. I got Joe, my friend, to come down, bring down a blind. I used to have all goals on the wall. Every day, in every way, my income level is getting bigger and bigger. Money comes to me easy. Life is great. And I had nothing. But see, you've got to use your intellectual faculties. You've got to have that imagination. Then 15% of the day, I believed I was financially free. Then 30%. This is the key. When you tip the scales to 51%, now you are the momentum. I got an opportunity. I got on a plane. Traveled to the other side of the world because one girl showed an interest. And I went there with my business partner. And bit by bit, momentum came behind me. See, with the law of attraction, you got to go for it. You can't hold a vision and sit down at home and expect it to come into your front room. You got to get out and go for it. Take the chances. You get inspired action. And I went out and I went for it. I went after it. Took the opportunity. How many times did I fail? I'd be here all night. I remember once, my poor sister, who's my rock of my life, 8.5 months pregnant. I met Austin at a retreat, that lunatic, and his brother Damien. A month later, I got involved in the teeth whitening business. Oh my God, that's not part of the script. I know where that's coming from. I'd Yvonne, pregnant, poor Harry's lucky to be alive. Up in Westport, up and down the road, 8.5 months pregnant. I went over to England with Austin. Like, over there, I was walking down the road, and I salutes everybody. How's it going? Austin goes, you have to stop saluting people. I goes, why? They think there's something wrong with you. Nobody salutes no one over here. I goes, what? I was up in Dublin. I hope there's no one from Dublin here now. I was up in Dublin. Where's Mannix? I was up in Dublin, and we were doing tea white, me and Yvonne. There was a poor woman. I sure we poisoned her. We had to run back to Cork. But you know what? That business, we lost money, but you know what? I learned so much. You know what I mean? And I tried something else, and I tried something else. Everybody remember one business that didn't work, but they forget about the 100 you tried. You keep going, you get up and go again. See, failing is a part of life, but we're told failing is no good. No, if your kid fails, tell him, fail harder and fail big. Get up and toughen them up. I remember when I was young, get out in the front and come in for that night. Now we're mollycoddling the kids. Don't do this and don't do that. Get up and go for your goals, go for your dreams. And that's what happened to me. I held that vision. I held that goal. I remember a few years ago, I said I'm going to bring all the family back together again. Because at that time in my life, my family fell apart. And I was traveling all over the world. And my family fell apart. I said I'm going to do something special. I'm going to bring them all back together again. When I was down in Little Island, I said I have a vision. It's going to happen. And bit by bit, I put all that vision into practice. I said get all the family walking together again. get that spark reunited. I goes, my mum and dad are going to call to the office every single Friday. And we're all going to put away the phones and we're going to have lunch together. Did I know how I was going to do it? A family member said to me, what's the product? I said, I haven't a clue. But I goes, if this stuff works, I can do it. I've done it before, I can do it again. The vision, your imagination, take one thing away from tonight. Use your imagination, dream, have scary goals. There was a study done, an experiment. A load of flies in a jam jar. There was a cork on top of it for 3 days. They kept on trying to get out. The cork was the top of the jar was taken off after 3 days. Not one fly tried to get out. Why? Conditioning. That's like your thoughts. When we're a kid, we dream big. We have big goals and big dreams. And what happens then? We get older, and dreams and goals are for babies. It's crazy. Get the book. I have it there, Think and Grow Rich by Andrew Carnegie. We all know Bruce Lee. What did he put pen to paper? I'm going to be the first martial artist to make in Hollywood. Look at him now. Jim Carrey put down a check when he was broke that he was going to have for 10 million, and he cashed it in. These guys are doing this to some of the most famous people of all time. Go on to Netflix, Arnold Schwarzenegger. 3 episodes on what? The art of visualization. I never know how successful the man was. This stuff works all the time, not part-time. I don't know if you're going to knock tomorrow. Get back up and go again. Who cares if you don't succeed? My brother once said to me, it's none of your business what anybody else says about you. We're all consumed what happens in a 4-mile radius. I'm from the north side of the city. If someone in the north side of the city said something about me, I'd be up in a heap. But if someone in Vietnam said about me, I'd say, I don't care. We're so consumed what the neighbour thinks. He's parked in my spot. She's in my spot. Oh, Jesus. He took my spot. I'm never going to talk to him again. Jesus, tonight, like. Don't sweat the small stuff. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, get up and enjoy your life, because that's what it's about. You deserve it. We have a 15-minute break. Thank you. So welcome back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the first part. That was just a warm-up. Now the show starts. But I want to start the second part of the show with a very powerful technique. In my opinion, this should be on everybody's fridge at home. It should be on everybody's WhatsApp group. Because when I came across this information for the first time, I didn't know when I woke up in the morning if I was going to be happy, mad, sad, or glad. I didn't know how to control my emotions. If I went out into the front and everybody was happy, I'd be happy. If I went out and everyone was arguing, I'd be arguing. And when I went to retreats and seminars over the years, my biggest regret was I didn't go to more of them. And I used to go to nearly one every year. Because when I went to these retreats and seminars, I heard people sharing things that completely blew my mind. But I also went back to more seminars and more retreats to see people changing their lives. The biggest change in my life came in January 2016. I went through a very tough time in my life. I was on a comeback. I was trying to make a comeback, and Stevie rang me. And Stevie says, I'm doing a special seminar. I'm handpicking the people who are going to be at it. Some people in this room were at that seminar. I asked him, can I bring my son? He goes, Paul, this is really for people who've been to a lot of seminars. I go, Stevie, please, can I bring my son? He goes, okay. My son was 16 at the time, first ever retreat. Remember bringing him up there. My biggest mistake I made over all the years going to retreats, and I went to my first 3-day retreat in March 2010, was that I didn't get stuck in straight away. Do you know, sometimes you go to these big events and your head will tell you not to come. A lot of you probably tonight coming here, the head will always trying to get you out of things. And when I went to this retreat, I goes, there's nobody after going to tell me about my dreams and goals tonight. There's nobody going to stop me. I'm going for my goals, I'm going for my dreams. When it came to that Sunday, when it was time to go up and talk about your goals and dreams, I jumped up over everybody. It says, my time to talk. I didn't care who was in the room. I put down the biggest, scariest goals in my life on that bit of paper. I played full out. I went for it. And within a few months, some of the scariest things I put down came true. Why am I saying that right now? Because when you leave here tonight, you're going to be in a high frequency. Feel how you feel now compared to you came in 1 hour ago. We go to retreats, start at 8 o'clock in the morning. My first retreat in January that I done in 2022, I had no script. Sat down for nearly 16 hours a day talking. A lot of people come to retreats and the first day they nearly want to go home. My daughter's in this room, Abby. She came to my third ever retreat. And she goes, Dad, this stuff is not for me. We went up to that retreat. And on the first night, she said to myself and her mother, I want to go home. I can't handle it. And I said, listen, you have to trust me, Abby. Leave the retreat, go into your DNA. I can promise you one thing. Wait till tomorrow. I've been around this information for so long, I know how this stuff works. The next day we were going to the woods. Abby was really struggling in the retreat. We went to the woods, and the breakthrough my daughter got that day in the retreat, it was unbelievable. The way she came out of her shell. Like, normally when you go to a retreat, there's always one person sticks out. Like, the whole weekend, it was like I saw my young baby girl mature into a woman before my eyes. I couldn't believe. I was coming back down the road on the Sunday, and one fella said to me, why do you do this? Why do you do this? He goes, you don't make any money out of it, so what are you doing it for? He goes, I'm just trying to understand, because I had the best 4 days of my life. I goes, Abby at this time was dancing in the bus. We couldn't stop her. Glasses on, but a lot of you saw it on social media, dancing, having a good crack. I goes, see that miracle there? If I never done another seminar, another retreat for the rest of my life, that's why I do it. To see breakthroughs like that. That's what it's about. Because a lot of kids are growing up now with social media. There's nothing wrong with social media when used properly. There's nothing wrong with phones when used properly. There's nothing wrong with thoughts when used properly. Don't leave thoughts use you. Don't leave the phone use you. Don't leave social media use you. Learn to put your phone in airplane mode. Put it away. Give it a break. There's people pay thousands of dollars. What I do for a living, I'm a trader. I trade the financial markets. And I see what these companies do on Wall Street. They pay thousands of dollars to keep you on the phone. A like, an endorphin, this and that. Steve Jobs done some amazing things on this planet. He wouldn't leave his kids on phones. Bill Gates is the same with the computer. Social media is good used correctly. When I came back home a few years ago, I came off social media for many years. And if I didn't go back on social media, this wouldn't be here tonight. When I was up in the office doing seminars, I remember talking to my good friend Roy. And I was asking Roy, would he go to a certain place with me? He said, Paul, I'm not ready. But he goes, see that family group you have? See that positive message that you put in there every morning? Can you send it to me, please? And these messages were like frequency and vortex. He goes, Paul, what is frequency? What is vortex? So I started breaking down saying, hello, my friend. Hope you're keeping well. Next thing, he goes, do you mind if I send this message to a friend of mine? I goes, yeah, no bother. Next thing, the voice notes started going all over the world. And people were saying, who's this hello, my friend fella? I wasn't on social media. I had a resentment against social media. And I just said, no, it's not for me. I took a drink after 12 years. I was 12 years in recovery. And I came back from working abroad, and I said, you know what? I'm going into that office every single day, and I'm going to meditate again. I'm going back to my roots with the power I know, what happened to me in 2004. I came back, and I went through some of my darkest days. My head was down. And it's only a few years ago, 2019. I lost the ability to talk. I went into meetings. I couldn't read how it works. When I was asked to speak, I couldn't talk. My confidence is so low. I was on the floor. Prior to that, I spent a career speaking. Couldn't. I said, what am I have to do with myself? Back in hospital with panic attacks. They destroyed my life. And next thing, these voice notes started going all around the place. Next thing, my sister said, will you please do a seminar in the office? The 8th of October 2020. I said, a seminar about what? She goes, you need to teach people what's inside your head, because I'm not selling any product. I said, I'm always selling something, because I'm not. She goes, teach what's in your head. And next thing, we started a seminar with 22 people. And next thing, it progressed. Next thing, at one stage, there was 92 people in the office. It goes, whoa, what's going on here? We this thing called COVID going on. We'll have no office tomorrow. I remember, this is not, I know where this is coming from, no, I might just say it anyway. This is where I get dangerous, now I get in trouble. We were there one day, and Mickey and Glenn came into me. Imagine Mickey and Glenn coming towards you. I goes, oh my God, what's wrong with them now? So we meditated every single morning after 2019, and they came in, and Mickey and Glenn goes, tell you now, no more seminars. We're stopping. You can't bring people in here. COVID's going on. I goes, right, lads, relax. I goes, just chill out there now a second. No, you need to listen to us. I goes, right. Intervention. I go, sit down there, we do a meditation. I did a meditation, and you get a taste of this meditation afterwards. I'm going to do it after with you as well. I started going on about what happened, where we came from, what we're doing, life, thoughts, dreams, goals. I ramped it up so high. People think you meditate like this, there's nothing wrong with meditating like that, but you can meditate anything. You can meditate anything. I got the meditation so high, the boys were buzzing. Next thing, Glenn jumps up. Is there a seminar Wednesday night? I goes, of course there is. And next thing, bit went to bit, and next thing, back to Roy again. Next thing, Roy had COVID, right? I know some people were pro-vaccine and not vaccine. That's an independent choice. I'm not here to discuss that. But anyway, he had COVID. I'm going to rat him out here now. We down to the Celtic Cup. No one had it. Gave it to all of us. About 3 days later, Roy rings me. I thought he was going to die. I can't breathe. The ear's gone. Tough man, no, he wouldn't be like that. And I goes, whoa. I goes, I have COVID as I come up to you. I got him out the hospital. I was so worried about him now. He woke up in the hospital the next day. I still wasn't back on social media. He goes, I had a vision that you blew up on TikTok. And I goes, you know what? It's time for the voice notes to be over. See, sometimes you get that impulse. I went back on TikTok. I faced my fears. A huge fear for me was going back on social media. Next thing, went back on Facebook, went back on Instagram. Next thing, people I knew from years ago got in contact with me. There's actually one person in the room. Oh my God, my buddy from Drogheda, Philly. I was there one day, and someone put in a nasty message about me on Facebook. Again. Yvonne goes, will you go and have a look at that? I don't know. This is not part of the script now, so I'm going off topic, so you got to bear with me. I didn't check Facebook anyway. I saw this nasty message. I was going, all right, good luck. Next thing I saw this fella, Philly texted me. I didn't speak to Philly in years and years and years. And next thing, we got in contact. And next thing, I said, Philly, like I would never tell someone, come to my show, but I goes, I'm down in the Opera House. I goes, I want you to come down to me. Came down last night, and we met today, you know, and I didn't see him in all these years. And I said to Philly this morning, you know, because I remember when he went back to Drogheda in 2011, it was like death in my family because we were so close, you know. And he said, Paul, I said, Philly, only for social media, right, we wouldn't have reconnected. So a lot of people here today in the back of social media. And so you never know what's going to happen next. You never know what road lies ahead of you. But you know what? You have a choice. You are the director of your movie. So if you're having a movie, what actors will you have in it? You decide through your conscious mind, through your reasonable faculty. Bring in the thoughts. Choose the good ones. Let me show you the power of the mind. There was a doctor called J.B. Mosley. Check this out online now. He got in 10 veterans in America that served in the war and stuff. They all had arthritis in the knee. He brought them in, and this was all case studied. They all got the incisions, they all got their knees done. They were sent away with their treatment. They all did their treatment. They all reported back in a few months. Do you know what the recovery rate was? 100%. Do you know how many actually got it done? 2 people. That's the power of the mind. You are your biggest pharmacy. You can heal yourself of anything. There was another one done, 2 classes. One class was A students. One class was D students. They went away, did 6 months, got the results, the A students got A results, the D students got D results. It was a placebo. The A were the Ds and the Ds were the A. So what's that? The teacher's belief in them. What's a belief? A thought you keep thinking. Your parents' belief in you. If you grew up and you had a rough, you can change it for your kids. Tell your kids they can be, do, or have anything. Tell them go for their goals, go for their dreams. There was a study done at Harvard University. They asked the class, how many people write their goals and dreams on paper? 5% put up their hands. 20 years later they came back. How many achieved their goals and dreams? The 5%. That's what I said a while ago when I started the show. What if what I'm saying is right? So look at this chart here now. This is the most powerful chart that Stevie ever showed me. This is going to help you to be aware of what stage you're in. Pay attention to this. We have low negative. So what's low negative? He said this about me. She said that about me. Keep your kids away from them. They're no good. Do you ever wake up in the morning and just feel not right? Oh, God, like. Do you ever go to bed at night with a resentment against somebody? You wake up in the morning, your head's doing push-ups. The most important time to think positive is this. When you go to bed, you go into something called theta frequency. That's why hypnosis is so powerful. The last thought before you think, you go to sleep with the next 8 hours with that thought. So what you should do 10 minutes before you go to bed, use your imagination. Play forward the next day. I can't wait for tomorrow. If we were all going to Spain tomorrow, we'd be buzzing, jumping out of bed next morning. Yes, I'm going to Spain. That's why you should go to bed every night. And get up in the morning, you start off well. It's momentum, momentum, momentum. We go to bed every night. And we go into our kids. And our youngest kids now is Mackenzie and Evan, 13 and 11. And we bring this stuff home, but we make it fun. I'd go to Evan, give me 3 things you're grateful for today. He named 3 things. I go to Mackenzie. Mackenzie, when's the most important time to be positive? Nighttime, Dad, before you go to bed. Why? I'm going to theta frequency. You make it fun. I've most of the nieces and nephews every Saturday. And we go, how do you bring a goal into life faster? Shock. You got to marry thought with emotion. That's the mathematical law of attraction. When you bring thought in with emotion, you galvanize it and you accelerate it into your life. Then I'd say to Evan, what's a put in insurance? When you sell a put, when the market's down, you believe it's going up. When you sell a car, when the market's up, you believe it's going down. What's the S&P 500? Top 500 companies in the world. People say we don't talk to kids about our money. Why are we scared to talk about money? Money's only energy. My mentor Owen's in the room. I remember going trading with him years ago. I've been through many different trading systems. And any trader will tell you you lose your shirt before you make it. It's like going through a trade. I remember meeting him in 2011. Again, Stevie asked me to come to a seminar up in Dublin. I was open-minded up on my own. Remember the last day, David Jennings said, there's a guy coming on stage now called Owen O'Malley. Keep your hand in your pocket, because he's the best salesman here. But he spoke that day and he goes, most people don't understand shares. You can rent out your shares every month. I goes, what? So I had to phone him. I had to do the course. I did one course, came home, I didn't know what he was talking about. Because there's something wrong with me. Puts and calls and this and that. I went back and did another course, didn't understand what I was talking about. But you know what? I kept persisting. I was on a call every single day with him. And I wouldn't give up. And I bring that to my kids now. Like, teach them things that wasn't taught to me. My mum and dad are in the room. It's not no one's fault. When you know better, you do better. Talk to your kids about money. Why not? Talk to them about life. Give them that bit of advantage. Get them around this stuff. But bring this stuff home. Bring this stuff home. So when your kids are in a low negative, not feeling good, they know they're in a low negative. What's low positive? Today is going to be a great day. I'll give everyone a challenge here. There's a book called The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. Find someone, do a 28-day course for them. On that, every morning, you get one thing to do. The first morning is get a magic rock. Every time you see that rock, you think of something you're grateful for. Write down 10 blessings each day. I'm blessed for my eyes so I can see. I'm blessed for my mouth so I can eat. The only time you're grateful for your health when you lose your health. The attitude of gratitude. Go out and look at people and see the good in them. There's one technique is brilliant. It's called the magic dust technique. Everybody you see today, sprinkle magic dust on them as if it's love. You might say that's for kids. It's not for kids. It'll make you feel absolutely fantastic. Do it for 30 days, your life is changed forever. 30 days. You'll start changing everything about your life. You'll go from like low and negative. So before, when I was low and negative, I didn't even know what low and negative was. Now if I'm low and negative, you know what? I'm low and negative, I'm not feeling the best. So then there's low positive. There's high negative. What's high negative? You leave here tonight, you get a dirty text message off someone, or you go home and tell your partner, where were you? You'd be buzzing going home. Where were you? I was this fella here from Knockney talking about hello, my friend. And they say, don't mind that idiot. What you mean? You know? But like, oh, you go up tomorrow, someone breaks a red light. You know that rage, that anger, that madness. That's high negative. And when you're high negative, sometimes you could be there 3 or 4 days, you don't even know it's high negative, you just say, I just lost the head. Some people have a very reactive, there's a thing called pain body. What's pain body? This is very important. What's pain body? Since the day you were born, every single negative emotion and every single situation that you didn't deal with is on your body tonight. They're energy traps. And what happens, right? Some people have a reactive pain body. So let's say someone says something to you, you break, right? You know that anger, your kids say something, come live with me, and you see who I really am. Other people have a reactive pain body. I don't know trouble, just as bad. I'm going to show you a technique how you can solve your past tonight. You come into this world with karma. You're meant to dissolve it, but every time you don't accept the present moment, you bring more karma onto your body. That's why they say we get grumpy with the old age. I was talking to a lady in this room tonight. She lost 10 stone in the last few months. 10 stone. I was talking to her the other day. We were talking at a retreat last year, and she was going to see someone. And there's some fantastic counselors out there now, because some of them are my friends, right? But she was going to see a particular person. And she goes, Paul, I'm going nowhere. I'm at this retreat. I'm after learning so much about myself. I was going to ask you one thing. She goes, of course you can. I goes, no, you go to see this individual every week. Do you talk about the same story every week, yeah? About the drama, the past, your problems, your addiction issues and stuff like that. I goes, no, if you keep on speaking about the same stuff, you're actually bringing that into your life. I goes, it's grand telling somebody when something goes wrong or going to a counselor and speaking about when it goes wrong. But if you keep on saying the same story every single week, you're just bringing it into your life. I remember a few years ago, I know I'm talking about Stevie a lot, but he was my mentor that brought me a long way. He's a big part of my life. I used to have a phone call every Friday with him. I remember Elon Musk put out a message there a few years ago that Tesla are no longer going to accept Bitcoin. Oh my God. We all lost our shirts overnight. Margin call after margin call. One of the toughest days of my life. I remember I had a seminar that night. Glenn saw me in the door of the seminar. I told him how much I lost that day. He goes, how are you going to do the seminar? I was like, no idea. I remember ringing on the phone to Stevie on the Friday. I couldn't wait to tell him my drama. Stevie, look what happened to me. This and that. He listened on the first week. No, the next week came. This is only 2 or 3 years ago now. And I meant to be practicing all this stuff. See, if I don't practice this either, my life falls apart too. I couldn't wait to get him on the phone the following Friday. I told him about all my drama again. He goes, Paul, you told me that story last week. I don't want to hear about it. I goes, the cheeky fecker. I goes, who do he think he is? He's lucky he's up in our man now. My head was gone. He was right. I don't want to hear about it. It's done. Where are you going? What's your goal? What's your dream? He gave me this letter a while ago. Before I came on stage, he came up to me, gave me this. He gave me these gold cards 15 years ago. 15 years ago. Listen to this. My gift to you. 15 years ago, I gave you one of these. They are rare things now. Like me, you dare to dream against all odds. Many victories and many challenges. Too many to mention on this. Little page, my good friend Paul, for all the people you've helped. For me too, having helped you in some ways was a privilege. Keep it lit. P.S. One more dream, love and light. But there's a gold card, I think, outside the room for everyone tonight, right, when they go out there. But how many people write that gold card? How many people put this into practice? Because I can promise you, there's some people here tonight, lives will change forever. Your kids and their kids and generations of pain will change forever. There's a big shift in consciousness taking place in the world right now. A big shift. Eckhart Tolle wrote this in 1999. People are starting to come around this information. Why? Because they're tired of the head. They're tired of that noise. So, what's high positive? Do you ever see a Thai boxer going into the ring? Shin on shin. They don't even feel the pain for a few rounds. Why? Because they're in a high frequency, they're in a high positive. Let's say your kid scores a goal tomorrow and you want to jump onto the pitch. That's my kid. I have a question for you. Were you negative in that moment? It's impossible to be negative when you're on a high frequency. It's impossible. So, high positive, right? Mike Tyson's going into the ring. Okay? He's on that energy. He's in that buzz. Cork playing Kilkenny in the All-Ireland final. I played with Vincent's for many years. We were told, hate the Pearshicks. Hate the Pearshicks. We spent the whole year, and it was crazy. My cousins were in the Pearshicks. And I was in school with them, and I was told I'd talk to them. I remember Davy Mack, God rest his soul, down in Gallyvoe, bringing me out every day with the hurley, baiting the hurley. I know what? I lived it. One of my biggest regrets in my life is not continuing my hurling career. I loved hurling. I loved everything about it. And I remember one year going to Ballinlock, and we were playing Pearshicks in the final again. I still don't forgive them. They bait us every year. We never won a trophy. Got to the final, right? What do we do trying to intimidate them? Greg's actually in the audience. Greg, you shaved your head too. We all shaved our heads, bought a jukebox out to Ballinlock, where I was the scorekeeper with my dad, trying to intimidate the Pearshicks. We ended up by 3 points. That was the end of that one. We got beat by about 10 goals. So let's get off Pearshicks now. We forgive you. But the important is this. You don't need to go to the All-Ireland final. You don't need to go into the ring with Mike Tyson. You can go to high positive without any of that. Let me give you how to do that. You get up in the morning, get out into the car, put on your favourite song, right, and get yourself psyched up. Because your subconscious, deeper part of your mind, when you shock it, when you bring thought with emotion and shock it, what happens, the law of attraction comes into your life 100 times faster. I was there about a year ago. I had a very difficult day. I was going over doing a seminar. I was at home, and we had a gym out the back. I was out the back, and I was in low negative. I had to get up to high positive before I do the seminar tonight. I was hitting the bags. I was screaming and shouting and roaring, shouting my goals, putting on Eye the Tiger. I was buzzing. Everyone come out to me and goes, Dad, all the neighbours can hear ya. I goes, I don't care. And I was hitting it. So, see, you can do it yourself. Get into the car in the morning, go into the car, start shouting and screaming. Like, you pass someone, they think you're mad. Who cares? Don't go into pastry now and you'll be locked up. Right? Do it on your own. But I can promise you one thing. You go into high positive, it's like an insurance policy for the next 3 hours you're going to feel good. What happens? The endorphins start lifting up. See what happens when you're young, every single cell is vibrant. But when you get older, through programming, by society, what happens? The dormant cells, they go like dormant on you. When you start getting into high positive, look at Conor McGregor. Say what you want about him. Into the UFC, I'm the 2-weight world champion. People said, you're a foxy fella from Ireland, you have nothing. He said this when he had no belt. He understood his favourite person is Abraham Hicks. When he went to New York first with John Kavanagh, what did he say? I own this place. I own this place. He went on to be the only person ever to hold 2 belts at the one time. Who else knows about this? Like Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Bombay, he was brilliant back into the subconscious mind. Keep on telling him how good he is, what he's going to do to him. Look what he's done to George Foreman. Like, all these people know about this stuff. So it's time that we know about this stuff. Bring it home to your kids and do it nice and gently and watch your home and watch your life change. But if you do this part-time, you'll have part-time results. Make it a life, and why not? But it'll go up and down. You'll be buzzing for a while, then you get a knockback all life. You go again. These tools don't fix your life. It just makes it easier. So watch this now. How do we put all this together? So let's say you're up in high negative. You got that text message. Your head's gone. You lost the Pearshicks in the final. And you really hate them. Right? So what happens, right? Or the missus says something to you, and you're ready to kill. So your head's gone. It could be 2 or 3 days now before you raise your high negative. Watch this. The minute you realize that you've lost the head, you're on the way to low negative. So what's low negative? Jesus tonight. Maybe Pearshicks is not too bad. Maybe my missus is right and I'm wrong. Oh, Jesus tonight. Then when you're down low negative, how do you go to low positive? Gratitude. Do you know what? I have a roof over my head. Do you know what? I have my health. I have my eyes. I can walk. I can talk. I have beautiful kids. I have a beautiful partner. Life is actually not too bad. So what you're doing, you're bringing yourself from high negative to low positive. And then when you're in low positive, how to get to high positive? Put on your favourite song. Go to the gym. Go for a walk. Go out to the field with the dog. Give a few shouts. But get up there. But listen, very important. Don't go to high positive at 10 o'clock. Because you'll be looking at the wall at 3 o'clock in the morning saying, I'm not listening to him anymore. We do seminars, right? And some nights I don't listen myself. And if I do a high positive at 10 o'clock, the one complaint we have at seminars, people are home at 4 o'clock in the morning and says, I swear to God, I'm not talking to him anymore. Fucking idiot. I remember with Stevie one night. Steve, I still don't forgive you. We'd have won it at a retreat. Saturday night, he was doing goals and dreams at 12 o'clock. Not one person slept. We all got up Sunday and said, jeez, I'm wrecked. So don't do high positive at this hour of the night. Wait till the end. So this chart is a game changer in my life. And what happens if you're on low negative, you'll know you know what? I'm low negative, I'm not feeling too good. How do I get low positive? Gratitude, acceptance. Life is actually good. Look at the world and see the opportunity. And you know where you're at. I said something about pain body a while ago. How do you dissolve the pain body? Listen to this technique. So, let's say someone says something to you and you lose the head. Just say, I'm down 1-0. Then somebody says something again. Oh, gee, I lost the head again. 2-0. What happens, right? I remember when Steve Twoig's son, 18 years of age, came to me in seminar. Because Paul Mc Carthy, what happens? When you're about to lose the head, watch this. Bring your awareness. Your pain body is an invisible energy field. Every single emotion you didn't deal with since the day you were born. Bring your awareness to it. What happens? Anything real can't be threatened. Anything unreal can't exist. So when you bring your awareness to it, you catch the pain body. You just dissolve some of your past. When you meditate, you dissolve some of your past. When you accept the present moment, you dissolve your past. When you go to retreat, people always say, I feel about 5 stone lighter coming down. It's not from food, because you're actually put up 5 stone over Austin, but you're lighter in your mind. You're lighter in your mind. You're lighter in your body. You're lighter everywhere. Because what happens is that when you're around this frequency for 4 days, you're actually dissolving all your trauma. People go through their whole lives carrying trauma, carrying hurts from the past, carrying things for 40 years, 40, 50 years. And no way. It's not their fault. They didn't know how to deal with it. And what happens then with the pain body, even if you're at home and you're having a cup of tea for the sake of a cup of tea, you're actually activating the pain body. It's dormant and it comes active. But then what happens, like what I do a lot, let's say if I'm going to a business meeting, I know it's going to be difficult. If I'm going to a difficult conversation, this is a game changer. Be aware of the pain body before it erupts. And then in the meeting, what happens is that people will say something, you just don't react to it. Their frequency will dissolve into your frequency. It has to happen. The whole meeting will change. Because every time you meet somebody, somebody's frequency is going to win. But when you learn to hold your frequency and don't react to it, you'll catch it, and then you stop being reactive. Like how many of us react, and you wake up and say, I did it again. Oh God, it's like it wasn't even me. It was somebody else. So what we're going to do next, we're going to go to a segment. This person is a huge inspiration to me in my life. I spoke a while ago about John Paul, Timmy, and Tommy. And I spoke about where John Paul was at and where he's at today. Well, I remember a few years ago, my brother Glenn was going through a very difficult time in his life. Again, went to a few treatment centres, and we were at a stage that he wouldn't listen to none of us, and we were very concerned for his well-being, and would he make it through it. I remember we were after doing everything. There was no Anam Cree at this stage. There was no Austin. Treatment centres wouldn't take him anymore. I said, what are we going to do? I remember going out to Jennifer. I was after ringing Stevie. I go, Stevie, we have an issue with Glenn. Stevie had me doing visualization with Glenn back in 2010 when I didn't understand what visualization was. What way do you want to see him? See from the end. See him fresh. See him happy. I didn't understand what Stevie was doing then. Little did I know it was going to take all these years later. Stevie said, send him up to live with me. He went up to Stevie, and at the time, Glenn was going through psychosis. Stevie looked at Glenn and says, you have no psychosis. I see an elite athlete in you. At this stage, Glenn never ran a marathon in his life. Glenn came back down a week later, down to Cork, started running. We were working with a charity called IODP. Tom McInerney was going out to Belarus for over 26 years. He was working on one of the biggest papers in the country, and he went over there being Santi one year in Belarus for the orphan kids who get no support from the government. He fell in love with Belarus, went there every single year. I remember over 2017, we actually did a bit of work for Belarus ourselves. Stevie said to me, you have to come out here. You have to come out here. At that time in my life, I was busy working and I couldn't make it out, but we did something together and we helped out. In 2018, I went out there and I was lucky enough a year later, I was able to go out there and bring my daughter Abby out there as well with her mother. The year prior when I was out there, we were able to get the kids anything up to a certain budget, like 50, 60 euros. You know what the kid took off us? One kid, an earning board. You know what they took the year later off us? Same kid, an earn. They get one utility each year, they keep it till they're 18, and that's their start in life. People say, why did you go to Belarus? Tom fell in love with the place. Obviously, you can't go know what's going on. This charity, this year, like watch this now, didn't know where the money was going to come from. My brother had no bright lights, didn't know what was going to be ahead from tomorrow. Look at the difference that one person can make. The charity didn't know how it was going to raise money because of COVID. Glenn came down, went out on the road. What do? We got all the kids here involved in it. We got our banners, we got t-shirts. The whole place got involved. A lot of you here got involved in it. And what happened, right, is that we went down, marked the road for him. But a week prior, he did a run with Stevie. Stevie did 60 ultramarathons in 60 days. Brought Glenn up a load of hills. Glenn pulled his quad. Next thing, Glenn goes out on the run. The first run, pulled his quad. He was saying to me, sorry for cursing now, man. Fuck Stevie, I swear to God, my leg is gone. What am I going to do? I can't get the run. Charlie, I'm fucked. What am I going to do? I rang Stevie. He goes, what am I going to do with him? He goes, go over and say these affirmations. I was trying to say affirmations. Then, Charlie, get out of my face, pal. Go away. Go away, pal. My leg is gone. Everyone's here for me. Next thing I ring Stevie. Glenn goes, hi, Stevie, boy. How are you getting on? All is good? Yeah, no bother. Stevie asked me to get videos of him, and we put him around the world. The first time he ran, watched Law of Attraction. We couldn't get no videos. Glenn injured his quad. I fell in with him. I remember at one stage, Kyle was here. I was here, Glenn and Jim were running. I was the Kyle. It was not Law of Attraction. All the kids got involved in it. Next thing, Glenn's leg was going again. Glenn started cursing at me, shouting at me. Oh, you're not going to do it. Next thing I go to Glenn. Glenn, this is for the kids in Belarus. Everyone keep donating, keep liking. Everything is great. He went on and on and on and on. That day, Glenn finished the race. Watch this. The charity was struggling to make money. Tom was so impressed with this. He started doing walks with dogs and stuff like that. That year, the charity made its most money it's ever made in 26 years. Because one man believed in another man. So like, what has that got to do with you? What is that? Everything. You might know someone now who's going through a bit of bad luck. It might be addiction, it could be life, it could be anything else. Don't ever give up on your loved ones. Don't ever give up on people close and dear to you. Because life is for living. And he looked at him, his belief. What's the belief again? A thought you keep thinking. He saw something good in him. So if you're down on the floor and someone believes in you, that gives you a bit of spark. That gives you a bit of belief in yourself. Next thing, the smile comes back on your face. That's what I can do this. And they went from that, from strength to strength to strength, from Ironman. Remember himself and Mickey did the Ironman last year. You know what I mean? I remember down there, Glenn was only after getting 2 days in recovery again, and he was down in Yall. He goes to me, Mickey, I'm going to do this Ironman next year. I goes to Mickey, he's mad enough to do it. So he went from marathons to Ironman, and you know, and he done it, and 2 lads did it and smashed it. You know? Imagine if Stevie wasn't there from that day. Imagine if Austin's place wasn't open for John Paul that day. It could be a different story. But you know what? It's not a different story. Now look at this and watch what happens. Here he goes, guys, the last 1K. Oh, he's coming in, guys, in 26 miles. He's 1K left around the final straight, and he goes there for the last 1K.
Thanks for everything, guys. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done, to be honest. My legs are hanging off me for the last 20K, but I would not give up. I would not give up. I went through the pain. All for the kids. Someone else might have gave up, but I'm not. I fucking suffer for the week after, but you know what? Them kids suffer over there enough. And if we can make their Christmas better, or even their way of life, because they expect Santi. They're getting Santi every year for the last 23 years, and we don't want to stop it now over what's going on or all the drama in the world. So keep donating. Every little helps. Every little helps.
There's a thing I learned, right, called success memories. That for us was a huge success memory for my family. And my dad said it's one of the greatest success memories ever. My dad and my mum went out before Glenn came in for the last mile and ran over the line. I've been taught at retreats and seminars over the year have some success memories. Because sometimes when you're in a low negative, have a time in your life you can remember. Let me give you one of mine. I remember a few years ago when I was going through a tough time. And I came back and I met up with these three people, Roy, Benny and Jor. And we created something. And for anonymity, I won't go into the details of it, right? We did something, and we did something together with four of us. It was so special. It was at a time in my life when I was really struggling in 2019, trying to come back myself from my addiction problems. But I remember the lads helped me lift my head again. The lads helped me smile again. The lads brought that energy back into my life, that fun, that humour. We spent a year together. The stuff we done together was absolutely crazy. And if you know Roy, he doesn't stop. 1,000 miles an hour. No time. We went down to Garrettstown. I never forget. Poor Joe likes going to bed early, like myself. And next we down there, and Roy was feeding me licorice at 11 o'clock at night. We all went down, right? So Roy brought us down the beach. I know where this come from now. It's not part of it, we'll say it anyway. Down the beach, right? Oh my God, what a crack. So we decided to have a bit of a laugh. And we went back to the back of a farmer's back. And next thing we started playing Runaway Knock. This is 12 o'clock at night in Garrettstown, you know. But what a crack. Somebody pulled a Mooney. Mama was me. But you know, you can imagine the headlines the next day. What a laugh, right? We were running back to the caravan then. Jor fell. We're meant to be tough boys. No, what did we all do? We left him there. We kept running. Poor Joe nearly got shot by a farmer, you know. But you know, the next day, like, we went out in the woods, we ran swings and slides. Benny tried to fucking kill me on it. And you know what? What a laugh. Then the last day, Roy got tired. I goes, I'm back for you now. Got on the car, pump up the jam. We drove into one house and all down the country, put up the music. They thought they were being robbed. I was just having a laugh. But you know what? That time in my life, I needed that. That time in my life, I needed that fun and back in my life, and it helped me spark on again. Another success memory for myself. We were out in Zurich a few years ago. We had a black tie event, and I was lucky enough to have all my family there. And we worked with a company, you know, we were having some challenges, and people said we couldn't pull off what we were going to pull off. And that night was a special night. All the family flew over, and we were all to go up on stage. And at that time in the company, I was meant to go up and speak, but I was meant to get leaders from all over the world to come up and speak as well. I fought with the company up to 5 minutes before the stage. They were trying to cut the speech. I goes, don't cut the people who built you. I goes, don't forget where you came from. See, at this stage of my life, I was at to back up for myself. Years previous, I would have left it go. So I got all the leaders all over the world to come on stage to say a few words. I remember it goes to Mickey, you're speaking for Ireland. He goes, what? He goes, yes, you're speaking for Ireland. So we were there, right? And they were just about to call us, right? So they were saying a few good things about me. And next thing, they were just calling Paul Mc Carthy from Ireland. I goes to Mickey. He goes, what? I goes, look around. He goes, what am I looking at? They call me. I goes, not bad for two fellas from Knocknaheeny. Come on. I looked at the whole stage. I got up on stage, right? And I was meant to start off with a polished speech. And all I got me says, we did it! I know what? And I said where I'm from. I'm very proud to be from Knocknaheeny. I'm very proud of my roots. Because for many years, like, I remember going into Churchfield School, and they said we didn't know what marmalade was. I remember going into the Mon School, the first time in the Mon School. You know what the geography teacher said to me? All of us, I hate first years. I was, what? Talk about shocking the subconscious. You know? And I said, what kind of conversation? Do you know what? And I remember, like, you know, like if you go in for a job tomorrow and you put in your CV, what do they do? Where are you from? What school did you go to? And they judge you on that. They should be asking you, how does your conscious mind work? How does your subconscious mind work? You know the thoughts affect the way you feel. You know your intellectual faculties. Let me give you a brilliant technique with your imagination right now. Every single person here, right? I want you to think of a goal and a dream you have right now. Don't underestimate 1,000 people now, because this is called shared being. There's thoughts flying through the room right now. Nobody owns them. But the way you feel, they stick onto you. This is where goals and dreams are born. Think of a thought. Close your eyes. Watch it now. Now, I want you now, bring that goal and vision into your mind's eye. I want you to breathe in and breathe out. Keep that. Hold that vision. Hold that vision. You do that for about 2 minutes, then you stop breathing, boom. You get an aha moment. And you just leave it go. And then you forget when it's going to happen. But you got to believe it's already after happening. And when you believe it's already happening, that's where the magic is. So what we're going to do now next, I told you a while ago, you can meditate anything. So I'm going to do a meditation now. I'm going to tell you a little story first about this meditation. We were at a retreat last year. And there's a lady in this room. I know she wanted to do a photo shoot. She was talking to my sister for a while about it, but she couldn't get it out there. She couldn't do it. She had this fear. We did a meditation to this song I'm going to do next, Eye the Tiger. I mean, now, I was shouting and screaming. If you think I was shouting tonight, this is nothing. I mean, I was boom, boom. Me and Austin were going around the room, hitting the drums, getting everyone going. And we played the Eye of the Tiger. The roof was just about to come off. I mean, wow. Next thing, her name is Jennifer Power. Next thing, Jen was sitting down, right? In the middle of the meditation, she goes, here's that. I had my eyes open. She goes, everyone was shouting and roaring. And we didn't ask anybody to shout. Everyone just started doing it. Jen goes, here's that. I'm going to do a photo shoot. The minute she said it, I jumped on it. Jen said she's doing a photo shoot. And next thing, a few months later, she's done it. But so that's what I'm saying. You could do this meditation next. Some impulse will come to you. Intuition. Intellectual faculties. Go home and learn them, study them, strengthen them. Something will come here, boom. It mightn't be a photo shoot. It might be a new career. You can't get from another place if you don't love where you are. If you're driving a Ford Fiesta and you want to drive a Mercedes, you got to love the Ford Fiesta. If you're in a relationship you're not happy with, you got to love that relationship to get somewhere else. If you want to be 10 stone, but you're focused on 15 stone, you have to love where you are right now to get to another place. That's how the law of attraction works. You got to be able to see from the end. You got to believe the end is already right now. And when you do that, straight away you feel better. I tell people, you know, if everything I'm saying is not true, it makes you feel better anyway. So you might just do it. So for this meditation now, we're going to ramp it up in the room now, right? And I want everyone now, close your eyes. I want you to bring up the most scariest goal and dream that you ever had in your life. And I want you now to galvanize that. Before we play the music, I want you now to feel it. I want you to believe it's after manifesting. No, if it's after manifesting, what does it taste like? What does it smell like? The more details you go into, the better. Feel it. Now, everybody know, right? Before we put the song on, everyone now again, use your imagination to go up into a cloud. Up in that cloud, fall backwards, left and right, and feel you're free. Feel you're free. Fionn, let's play it. I know, Billy, there's no need to clap, no need to clap. I want you now, no need to clap. I want you just to feel it in your mind. In your mind. I want you now to galvanize your mind now. This is your time. This is your moment. Bring up that goal, bring up that dream. It's time for your life. It's time for you to shine. Don't wait for somebody else to live your life. Take responsibility for your life. Take responsibility for this moment. Watch your goal, watch your dream. Feel it in your hands. Taste it, smell it, touch it. This is your life. You deserve all the goals and dreams that there is.
Rising up, back on the street. Did my time, took my chances. Went the distance, now I'm back on my feet. Just a man and his will to survive. So many times it happens too fast. You trade your passion for glory.
Bring up that goal now.
Don't lose your grip
Feel it. It's
on
done.
the dreams of the past. You must fight just to keep them alive. It's deep. I
have the tiger.
It's the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge.
roar.
of the tiger. Face to face, out in the heat, hanging tough, staying hungry.
Now, keep your eyes closed. Just nice and relaxed now, right? You're up over the city in a cloud. Look at the whole city now, right? This is where your senses come in now. And see yourself now going down that main street, and your chest is out, your skin is glowing, you feel absolutely fantastic. You got to see it in your mind before you can have it in your hand. Remember I said a while ago, every great invention through the history of time started with a thought. Thousands of years ago, we're hunter-gatherers, lived in caves. And along the journey, people said, like, think even a stool, a house. Everything starts with a thought, a spoon. Everything. You've the same ability as anybody else on this planet. But you got to believe it. So now come out of the cloud, come back into the room, feel your legs, feel your hands, nice and relaxed. Now open your eyes. So you can meditate anything. Feel the way you feel now. We do meditations on retreats for 1 hour, an hour and a half. Joe Dispenza spends half his week, half time you're meditating. The power of the mind. The power of the mind. It's unbelievable. So, the next segment here, okay, is a very special segment for a very special man. We're coming towards the end of the night. When people are young, people have superheroes. Roy Keane, Hulk Hogan, all different sorts. When I was young, my superhero was my dad. I remember when my dad brought myself and my brother Glenn up to Thurles. As a young kid, I see touts selling tickets for a tenner and then getting them and selling them to someone else for 12. I said, Dad, he just made £2. What? How did he do that? That's so easy. He goes, Paul, watch this. Bring us back an hour later. Then they're making £6. Because why is that? Closer to the game. I goes, geez, this is simple. Easy to make money, Dad. Next thing, 10 minutes of the game, they're making £40. I couldn't believe it. Like, my dad showed me at that age, like, how to hustle. My mum will probably kill me now over this. We used to go to all the matches. No, come back from the matches. No, the train. We never ever pay for one train ticket. I go first. Glenn pushed me, and then my dad pushed him. We all went in. Back then, nobody paid for the train. Crazy stuff. But you know what? He brought me out to Ballinlough. Out to Ballinlough, me and Glenn. He brought Glenn out for one day. Glenn wouldn't do it anymore. He brought me out, right, 10 years of age, doing the scoreboard out in Ballinlough. What a carry-on. I used to get nearly every game wrong. I was shouting. I thought I was involved in the game. Then my dad came over and Derry Collins said to him, Noel, if he keeps making mistakes every week, we're going to have to get rid of him. My dad kept, we winged it, we bluffed it, we kept going. But no, after every game, I'd pick up the papers for 300 people. 300 people. Right? And my dad go, run over to Derry Collins, you get £2 off him. I'd be extra Derry like that. And I get £2 off him. Get up to Shawnee Mac, you get £3 off him. Up to Shawnee like that. I was a pest. I come home, right? My dad said, how much do you make? I got £8. He goes, I got a £5. We put £13 at home to me, man. I remember my dream as a kid, and I did it well ago before I came here, was to be able to buy a can of Coke and a bar of chocolate and not worry about money. That was my dream. I saw how hard my mum and dad worked. I saw what they'd done to us as kids, provide for us, go out and work for us. Remember my dad when he was doing window cleaning. Remember, I used to go to the gate every day asking him how much money he made. His first day out, when he came home, I told you, Granddad, he was the last house I got enough money for petrol home with a smile on his face. The way the man done what he done for our house, then he went away after that and followed his own dreams, followed his own career, opened his own business and stuff like that, went out on his own. But like, his road, and he wouldn't mind me saying this when he went into recovery himself, you know, if he didn't do that, my road would have probably been different. But he did do that. And my whole life changed, you know. It changed. Remember down in Park Queef? And you get 10 pence for every program you sell. People who sell 100 programs in a day. I was down there one day. I got wide after a while. You start off out close to the city, you work your way back. Park Reef. I sold 100. I'm back down. We didn't miss one penny. I got £10. Sold another 100. I goes, give me 200 this time. I'm back out again. I went out to my dad, right? And a big smile on my face. About 12. Oh, you're on, Dad? How'd you get on? I know what he was making. He was making £12. How you getting on? I got £12. I got 50. I have the record for selling the most programs. I didn't miss one penny. I got £50. No, back in my communion. No, when everyone waits for someone to come out, I knock at your door. Where's the money? You know, I was taught like that as a kid, you know. And I remember my friends and my advisor was with me one day, and we were down in I bought him around where I lived. I remember saying to him, I goes, see up here, some of the greatest entrepreneurs I ever known are up in this area. Because when you grew up in an area, when I grew up, I saw crime, I saw things I shouldn't have seen. And then I morphed up and I went down some roads I shouldn't have gone down. If you grew up with a lot of lawyers, doctors, you're probably going to go that road. I say, these people didn't know any better. And they're some of the best people I know. And, you know, because that's why you never judge. Don't ever judge nobody. And he goes, Jesus, that's a good way of putting it. Because you never know. When you judge someone, there's someone else judging you back. The deck of cards you got is the deck of cards you got. Make the most of it. Make the most of it. Don't go through your life. Do you hear what I said a minute ago about Joe Dispenza, the most sought-after man in the world? You're defined by two things, a vision of the future or a victim of the past. You choose. But not that vision. You got to build an image. No, you're subconscious. That's your self-image. What's your self-image? 90% of the world don't love themselves. Can you imagine that? 90% of the world. What's your self-image? How do you change that? By putting good stuff in there. Get out the weeds. The tree weeds. What's the tree weeds? No complaining. No complaining, no excuses. Take back control of your life. I was so fortunate to have a mother and father like I have, and they mean so much to me and my brothers and sisters, they really do. And you know what? Instead of me mocking my dad for the rest of the night, my mum would kill me, Dad, get up on the stage.
Welcome. 1, 2.
That's the first time he ever hugged me. I'm waiting all my life for that hug. He's not a hugger.
I knocked you over the hugs, Paul. Thanks, Paul. How do you follow that, you know? I'm so proud of this lad here next to me. You know, 3 years ago, just a little over 3 years ago, Paul was doing his first seminar. And he asked me to attend. And I really said, no, you know. And I asked him, like a lot of people are asking, do you have to close your eyes, Paul? He says, hey, Dad, Mum is coming up, you better get your ass up here. So I knew I had no other choice but to go, you know. And it was a game changer for me. It changed my whole life. From seminars to the retreat in Austin Place, which I call paradise, you know. People are well aware of that, you know. Previous to all this, at the time, I was 37 years sober. You know, and my life was okay, you know. My life was okay, I had a bit of peace. The home scene was good, you know. Eileen was happy, and that was the main thing. And, you know, but there was something still wrong, you know. Even though, as I said, I had a good life, and I was still very unhealthy. I was 3 stone overweight. My breathing was heavy. And Paul spoke about a while ago, and that horrible. I suffered terrible from panic attacks after a car accident, you know. I just couldn't seem to get rid of them, So I kept on going to the retreats. I kept on going to seminars. I kept on going up to Aston's with 720, You heard the name they called the two of us. That was Glim, by the way. And lo and behold, the panic attack stopped. I lost weight, and my breathing is getting better. You know? As Paul, or anyone, could be anyone outside my door, wouldn't get me off my couch with a remote control and Manchester United. You know? But it doesn't matter today, like, you know. And I had a dream, yeah, Keno. I had a dream as well, like, I saw what Tony did, you know. And I was there when Tony put up his hand. We travel in the bus, we travel everywhere, even in the fucking gym together. I saw what he did, you know. I was right in Austin's place, you're right next to Crow Patrick. And he put up his hand, you know. And I says, whoa, you know. And I said to Tony, every bus out and everywhere we went, Tony, it's the journey, you know. My life today and getting up in the mornings is fun, harder to start, the gym. I'm walking hills and I couldn't go up Shannon Street without losing my breath, you know. I'm enjoying it. I get up in the morning, no matter what happens in my life, like, you know, and life can go wrong, things happen, like, this is going to be a good day and it's working for me, you know. It's really working for me. I know I was up there on that journey, and this fella probably knew I was to come next. It was his own fault. He put on Eye of the Tiger. And we all got into high positive, the whole lot of us. And I jumped up. I'm climbing Crow Patrick.
I have a rule for him, right? He's not allowed to do any more goals and dreams till him broke over him. He goes, you said it works. So he was all about Crow Patrick for the whole week, and I was saying, oh my God. I said, if he does this now, we've a lot of work to do. Get up and go again, the whole lot. And I was talking him out of it. So in the middle of the retreat, look at my reaction.
I'm going to put road to you now. I am going climbing Crow Patrick.
Eh? So watch this. What's the date, Dad?
The date for Crow Patrick, the only day we can fucking get at you, we're all free. The 13th of July, and you're all welcome.
So guys, we done it with Tony Marr, and my dad's been inspired on the back of Tony Marr. He's in the gym 5 days a week. Darren Cashman's put him to work, training him every day, and on the 13th of July, our family nearly fell apart trying to get this date, but we got it anyway. Some people have things on every week, but anyway, we won't go there today. Watch the pain, buddy. But we're doing it on the 13th of July. Everybody's welcome, okay, guys? We're going to go up on a few bus loads up to Crow Patrick, and we're going to have an absolutely amazing time. So, guys, as we come to the end of the show, right, like, there's too many people here to thank, okay? Like, there's people in this room, like, that's been through the ups and downs of me in the past few years, and with my family. When I talk about hello, my friend starts with family, to friends, to the community, to the city, to the world. Like I said a while ago, don't wait for somebody else to change. You got to change yourself, and by you changing yourself is the power of attraction. Somebody else will change. There's a movement taking place. You know, we're all a part of this movement. We're going to have such an amazing time going up Crow Patrick, getting to the top of that. When Tony got there, normally we have dreams and goals. There was one time I was lost for words. I couldn't believe Tony got to the top. I was saying, oh my God. And now to see my dad go on that feet, even though I'd be laughing and joking, I'd be the first behind him. So as we close up the show, guys, I just want to again thank my mum and dad. I said about them already, what they mean to me in my life. We'd be lost without them. I speak on behalf of my brothers and sisters for that. I want to thank my brother Glenn, who's been a huge inspiration in my life. You see what I said about him there a while ago. Talk about never giving up. Unbelievably, such energy comes from him, so positive. He's very infectious and people love him. My other brother Mickey. When I talk about my family, there's my family and Mickey. I've been through the ringer with this man over all the years since I met him, ups and downs, ins and outs, you know, and he's always been with me, always stuck with me. So I love you, brother, boy. Thanks so much. My other sister, Nicola, the heart and beat of the office. Wait, she's on a high frequency anyway. She's the best. But she's the glue in our family, really, with parties, events, everything, unbelievable, you know. My kids, I want to thank Jackie, the mother of my kids, for being with me 23 years, for giving me 4 beautiful kids. Dean, who couldn't be here tonight. My son, I love him to bits. My daughter, Abby, said well ago, she's my little angel. I got sober just before Abby was born. My life was changed when her mother told me she was pregnant. Abby, I said, I have 2 kids, I have to stop what I'm doing and grow up. And I did, you know, and I always say she's my little angel, you know, and she is, you know, and seeing her on that retreat, seeing her life change, like, was unbelievable, you know. And since then, only Tony and my dad are allowed to come to every retreat, but obviously Abby as well. Everyone else I have to give a chance, because when we put out the retreats, they're sold out within 24 hours, you know. You know, so she's an amazing person. Mackenzie, remember Mackenzie's born, one of my biggest success memories. I wanted to keep it for now. Myself and her mother, we went to Stevie's retreat in March 2010, and we had this vision of these big green eyes, and Stevie told us, have the vision and go for your goals and dreams, and the beautiful tan skin, the whole lot, we played it out. Remember when she was up in the hospital, she was born, she came out and I looked at her, look at her eyes, Jesus, tonight. I remember going home and Bruno Mars came on, and anybody knows, I was going home, Bruno Mars came on, and I just sang, I was just so happy and joyful that this lady came into the world. So thank you, Mackenzie. My son, the relationship I have with my father when I was young, the greatest gift my dad ever gave me when he was young, he never looked at me as his kid. He looked at me as another human being. I remember once when I was caught drinking, I won't say the age now because my kids are here, but I was young anyway. I had 4 small cans of Foster's. Inside the favourite, I didn't know where I was. I went home anyway, and I never ever wanted to leave my mum and dad down, because, you know, the way they are with us, you know, I was devastated. I was up on the scoreboard, I was devastated. And my dad came over, he thought he was going to be killed, and he just looked at me, and he just talked to me. He goes, Paul, what did you do last night? You know you were after breaking your mum's heart. I know. But he talked to me. He talked to me like another human being. And that's, I don't get, if I could be half the man this man is, I'd be flying. I try to bring that home to myself. And the relationship I have with my son is the same relationship I have with my dad. He hangs around with me, we go everywhere together, and he's an amazing son and an amazing friend. So thank you, Evan. I'd also like to thank Simon is in the room here for introducing me to 3 amazing friends that came into my life at the perfect time. Paddy, Rob and Garrett. Thank you so much for coming into my life at the time you did. You've been there for me for the past few years, and I'd be lost without you. For a new partner in my life, Breffney, who I met in the last few months, and things have gone very fast, and it made a huge impact in my life, so thanks very much. Love you so much. Thank you. The last person that I want to thank is literally the rock in my life. She's been the rock in my life forever. She's the person she's the go-to person for me and all my family. I don't know what I do without her. I would have gave up hello, my friend. Trust me, 100 times only for this person. Even Reese said I can't do it anymore. Look at this message. Look at that. You have to do it. This is what you're here for. You know, in business, in home, with the family, with all of us. She's behind us. I don't know what I wouldn't do without this person, my sister, Yvonne. Thank you, Yvonne. And each and every other person, from the Wolf Pack to every other person here, all of you here, I could be thanking everyone for the whole night. I mean this, from my family to your family, thank you so much for all the support over the years. Thank you.
They can't control. Yeah.
Selfie.